Welcome to episode 821. Michael Steinhardt, greatest trader in the world, 1967 to 1994. It's an outline of episode 821. There are two reasons we study Michael Steinhardt. First, he closed his hedge fund in 1995. He was a top trader in the 1980s. Second, at age 64, he made a comeback with the founding of new fund WisdomTree.
Managed a hedge fund for 29 years, and it consumed my life. All I cared about was performance. And I felt that always a little bit uncomfortable because what I was doing was making rich people richer.
The secret of his success, variant perception.
There's no easier, and this is a strong statement, there's no easier way to make money in markets than having correct variant perceptions.
He was born in 1940 as the only child to Jewish parents in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, New York. His parents divorced when he was 1 year old. Here's a picture of Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. His father is a gambler.
A character. He was smart and funny and had a bad temper.
But he was charitable too.
Now, first stocks at age 13.
He came to me and he said, "Here, this is for you." He spoke in a deep, gravelly voice. This was
Saul, right?
This was Saul, exactly. And he gave me these 100 shares of Penn-Dixie Cement and Columbia Gas, which at the time had a total value of $5,300. And $5,300 was more money than I knew existed in the world. It was a huge amount of money, and it changed my life.
Our genius here graduated from U Penn Wharton School in just 3 years. He was 19. First job was at Lopes, Rhodes & Company. He worked there for 6 years. At age 27, he co-founded his own hedge fund, Steinhardt Partners.
1967 to 1988, Steinhardt Partners achieved a compounded annual growth rate of over 30%. This is truly remarkable, especially considering that the S&P 500 market index was only able to grow at a pace of about 9% per year during the same period.
In his late 30s, he took a year sabbatical, got married, and spent a year in Israel.
Could myself show that Israel was a decent place to invest? Because up until the 90s, Israel was a highly bureaucratic, socialist-oriented place where that terrible expression, if you want to make a small fortune in Israel, start with a big fortune, was the prevalent view.
In 1993, at the age of 53, he was in the Forbes 400 with a net worth of $300 million. In 1995, he closed his hedge fund after a disastrous 1994 when his fund lost a third of its value. Also, he was fined and settled with the U.S. government for $70 million. He started his own private zoo and spent a lot of time with his camels. For charity, he co-founded Birthright Israel in 1999. Now, the second page of his life. In 2004, he emerged out of retirement to start WisdomTree at the age of 64.
Of its funds outperforming the averages, outperforming the indexes, and that's what excited me. So WisdomTree offered philosophically, almost theologically for me, something that I didn't find elsewhere that was geared to people who are not necessarily affluent.
In 2020, Michael Steinhardt is 79 years old and spending a lot of time with his grandchildren. Now, the two secrets of his success. I have already covered secret number 1. variant perception in the first minute of this video.
Some of his traits came out as, in a way, right?
Well, over time, I've come to conclude that my ability as a trader was really an extension of gambling. Over time, I concluded that I was blessed in this respect by my father's willingness and ability and proclivity to liking to gamble, and he gambled on most everything.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and leave your questions and comments below. My next video will be Michael Steinhardt, 8 Lessons. Wishing everyone peace and prosperity.